Whether the slide is visible and am I audible? Please respond, please. Anybody else?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have almost finished all the important concepts of project management and process management. We'll see to the last phase of project management. Let's assume that the project is successful, completed. Then how to close it, how a project can be closed. So today we'll discuss project closure, how a project can be closed. So today we'll discuss project closeout, whether a project is successfully completed or it is failed, how it can be closed. That is the subject matter of today. This is known as the project closeout. We'll see a little bit the introduction to project closeout. What are the different regions for project closure? What is the process that will follow for project closure? How to perform financial closure when a project is completed? And how to prepare the project closure report. These are the important topics which will come under project closure, which we will see today. Please remember that every project must come to an end today or sometime or someday other, isn't it? Every project must come to an end at some time or other. This is the last phase of project management life cycle. In my earlier classes, while discussed about the chapter 1, Introduction to Project Management, there I have told you the different of project management life cycle. So this closure, this is the last phase of the project management life cycle. It is the responsibility of the project manager to decide the appropriate time to close a project. So when the project will be closed, that will be decided by the project manager. The project closure activities can be divided into two important types. One, administrative closure. Two, contract closure activities. These are the two important types of project closure activities: administrative closure and contract closure activities. Let's see these two types in detail. First, we will discuss about administrative closure activities. The administrative closure activities, they consist of ensuring that all of the project deliverables are achieved. So what you have planned earlier, all the project deliverables they are achieved, and the project know-how are transferred to the other personnel. What you have learned from the project, the details of the project, or the project know-how, they are transferred to whom? They are transferred to the other personnel associated with the that project development, and they are properly documented and achieved. So all the details, all the know-how, they are properly documented and they are archived for future use. Okay, these activities are known as administrative closure activities. So the administrative closure activities, they consist of what? They consist of ensuring that all of the project deliverables, they are achieved. 2, the project know-how, they are transferred to the other personnel of the organization. 3, they are properly documented and archived for future use. Then what do you mean by contract closure activities? The contract closure activities, they verify that all the terms of the contract with the customer as well as various subcontractors are met and satisfactorily closed. Because you might have signed some document, some contract with the client, the customer, or if you are giving to your job to another third party or subcontractor, you might have signed some contracts. So those contract terms and conditions, they are fulfilled. Okay. So contract closure activities, they verify that all the terms of the contract with the customer as well as the various subcontractors, they are properly met and they are satisfactorily closed. All those terms are then satisfactorily closed. So now let's see what are the reasons for project closure. Why a project should be closed? There are two main reasons for closing a project. Number one, all the project goals have been successfully accomplished. Okay, what we have planned, we have successfully get all those things. All the project goals have been successfully accomplished. 2, it has been found that the project is unlikely to achieve its stated objectives and has to be prematurely terminated. So one case is successful. We have successfully achieved all the goals. So now we have to terminate the project. 2, we have tried our level best, but it is believed that it is felt that the project is unlikely to achieve its stated objectives. It may not achieve its stated objectives earlier, and that's why it has to be terminated prematurely. Since we cannot get the objectives, since you cannot achieve the deliverables, so now we should prematurely terminate it. Otherwise, again you will trap into loss. These are the two important main reasons for closing a project. Now let's see successful cases. Okay, a project is successfully completed. Now we have to close, no problem. Now let's see the second part. What are the reasons that a project is prematurely terminated? What are the reasons? The reasons for prematurely terminating a project. There can be many reasons for a prematurely terminating a project. Let's discuss few of them. A few important reasons for project termination are as follows. Number one, lack of resources. As a development organization, we do not have sufficient resources. Due to lack of resources, we do not have sufficient manpower, we do not have sufficient computers, we do not have sufficient equipments like that. Due to lack of resources, we are forced to terminate the project. Number one. Number two reason may be changed business need of the customer. The customer initially has told something, these are requirements, and after the project has been started, he is changing the requirements very drastically. Change the business need of the customer. In that case, we are not able to fulfill all the requirements of the customer. In that case, we have to terminate the project. Number three, the perceived benefits accruing from the project no longer remain valid. So it is expected that while you have made the plan, we are expecting that we will get these benefits. But soon after, sometime we found that these benefits are no longer valid because maybe, for example, some other competitors, they arrive in the market and they are much stronger than you, and they will take the benefit. They will try to take hold of the market. They will try to trap into the market. It is very likely that they will occupy the market. They will capture the customers in the market. So you cannot compete with them. So in that case, it's no way. It's not better to go for completing the project. Rather, it is the starting. You can premature the project. You can terminate the project. So these are some of the reasons we have discussed why it is required for prematurely terminating a project. Some other reasons are like that: incomplete requirements. The requirements that you are getting from the customers, they are not complete, and they do not know what is required more to make them complete. Incomplete requirement. So that's why we are terminating the project. Another reason are changes to the regulatory policies. There can be the government has some policy right now today. After the project has been started, the government has changed the policies which are not actually beneficial for us. So it may close the project. So changes to the regulatory policies. So okay, like permission not granted to use satellite communication based product. So we want to develop a project which requires satellite communication based satellite communication, but government is not giving us permission for satellite communication. Or we want to develop a project with on human bodies. We want to try to develop some medicines, etc., on the human bodies, but this government does not allow. You cannot test on human bodies. So those kind of things, changes to regulatory policies or the income tax policy, sales policy, etc., revenue policy, they change suddenly. So in that case, it is not acceptable for us. Then we have to prematurely terminate the project. Then some key technologies used in the project have become obsolete during the project duration. So we have now 4G is there. We are trying to develop the project using 4G technology, but immediately 5G came into market, and now 4G almost becoming obsolete. Who will use this 4G technique? So we have to terminate our project. So risks becoming unacceptably high. So there are some certain risks. Initially, they are not almost visible, but as the project is started, they are becoming very prominent. The risks are becoming unacceptably high. In that case, it is clear that if you will take up the project, you will get only loss. So in that case, it's better to terminate that project. So risks are becoming unacceptably high. So these are some of the reasons that we have discussed for prematurely terminating a project. Okay. Now let's see, why are projects not properly closed? So if we have known there are two reasons to close a project, if it is successfully completed or it is prematurely terminated, we have to close the project. But why people are not closing the projects properly? What are the reasons? Let's see few of them. Number one, lack of interest by the project team. Project team is not interested to close it properly. Okay, the project is completed. Why you will follow the paraphernalia to complete it, to close it properly? We have already got success. Why will close it properly? Just leave it, automatically close. No. Even if you have got everything else, we have successfully achieved the requirements, still then you have to close it properly with the steps. I will tell what are the steps for closing a project. So due to lack of interest by the project team, the projects may get improperly closed. Number two, underestimation of how fast know-how can get lost. You know, today what experience you have got, tomorrow you may forget it. So, and you are underestimating that fact, that how the first know-how it can get lost. Very quickly the know-how, the details, they will get lost. And you are underestimating that one. And how much implicit knowledge exists to the team members. You do not know how your team members are competent. They are having implicit knowledge within themselves. How can extract, how can record this thing properly, how can document this thing properly, how can archive them properly for future use. So you are underestimating those things. That's why some of the project managers, they are not properly closing the project. Okay. So number two is the underestimation of how fast the know-how can get lost. If you will not record immediately, we will forget them, we will lose them, and how much implicit knowledge exists with the team members. Number two, due to maybe some emotional factors. Okay, due to some emotional factors, you are expecting that my job will go. Okay, my job will go. Why shall I will properly close? So the company is just terminating next month. Why shall I all those things I will document due to emotional factors. And indecision regarding project closure. You are not in a position to decide whether the project will be closed or it will continue. And by this time the project is getting closed. So due to this indecisiveness, you are not able to close it properly. So indecision regarding project closure. So these are the different reasons for which the projects are not properly closed. So whatever I have told, those are explained in the immediate slides. Quite easy. You just read yourself. I have already told you. Emotional factor example I have already given you. that one is there might be your job might go, or the company is just removing you from the job. That is one of the emotional factor. Other emotional factors are like after working for some time on a project, it may be possible that the team members and the project manager, they may become emotionally attached to the project and would want the project to continue as long as possible. They are very emotionally attached, say a number of years, 4 years, 5 years, or 10 years, they are attached to the project. They are feeling very unhappy. They are feeling sorry that, oh, the project will be closed. No, will not let us not make it officially closed. So that belongingness, due to that emotional, they may not actually close the project officially. They may not close the project properly. After working for some time on a project, it may be possible that the team members and the project manager, they may become emotionally attached to the project, and hence they would want that the project should to continue as long as possible, and hence therefore they do not want to close it officially. They do not want to close the project properly. Indecisiveness, I have already told you, indecision regarding project closure. Now let's see what problems you will face due to improper project closure. If you are not properly closing the project, what problems you will get? Okay. Problems of improper project closure. First problem, time and cost will overrun. If you will not close the project properly, the time and cost may overrun. Yeah. If project termination, you are just making delay. Today's project is already completed. You are not officially closing it. Then what problem you will get? If a project termination is getting delayed, then the project as a cost center runs of expenditure in the meanwhile, leading to cost overrun. So here, still some of the expenses that might be charged to that project, and unnecessarily that cost will overrun. Also, the project duration appears to be longer than what it should actually be. The project, it's already 3 years. You have already completed the project and you are not able to look at it. And you maybe due to the emotional or some other reasons, you are lazy or so you are not officially closing it. Then the actual project time, it will be now just even if project is completed, the project duration will be just lingering and lingering. So it will be unnecessarily more than no work we are doing after that, say, well, your project is completed maybe after 3 years, but still your project duration count, the record of project duration will be just increasing. It will be increased without any reason. Next one, locking up valuable human and other resources. You will unnecessarily held up the valuable human resources and other resources. When there is a delay in closing a project, what will happen? Redeployment of project personnel and other resources get delayed. Unnecessarily, you have held some person, they could be allocated to some other projects, they could be assigned to some other projects. Unnecessarily, you are holding up some resources, computers, etc. They could otherwise have been allotted to some other projects. So unnecessarily, you are just locking up or holding up the valuable human and the other resources. As a result, what will happen? The resources and manpower, which are quite valuable, okay? As a result, the valuable resources and manpower that could have been gainfully utilized in other projects, just they get wasted. So this is another problem due to improper project closure. Another reason is stress on the project personnel. The project personnel often lose out on experience that they could have gathered on other projects. The project personnel, when they will sit idle because their project is completed, they could have utilized their knowledge, their experience on other projects, isn't it? So if the project would have been closed out properly, then the experience of these personnel that could have been utilized on other projects. So the project personnel often lose out on experience that they could have gathered on other projects on which they might have been delayed. Okay. The project personnel often lose out on experience that they could have gathered on other projects on which they might have been deployed, had the project close out occurred at the appropriate time. So the feeling of not doing any challenging, missing out on the learning opportunities and the impact of these on their future career can be stressful for the team members. They will be under stress because they know that one project is completed. Now they are not allotted to any other project, so they will be under stress. They will feel very risky, and they may miss out some learning opportunities. All those things, they will be under full stress. So the feeling of not doing anything challenging, missing out on the learning opportunities, and the impact of these on their future career, it can be very stressful for the team members. They will be under stress. So another problem is stress on the project personnel in this way. The problems with the project termination are twofold. Okay, now let's say the issues which are associated with the project termination. The problems related with project termination are twofold. One is emotional, that is one important issue, and the other issue is intellectual. The emotional issues can concern both the team members and the clients. So because some of the team members, they may be emotional, similarly the clients who are associated with the project for a long time, they may be also emotional. The emotional issues can concern both the team members and the clients. Now let's see about the emotional issues. The emotional issues that the team members may experience, what do they include? So the emotional issues that the team members may experience may include the uncertainties and apprehensions concerning their assignment to the next project. How much thing you will make delay, your project will be delayed. These personnel employees, they will be under pressure. There will be uncertainty whether they will be assigned to next project or not, or their job will go. The apprehensions, they will be apprehend whether they will get another project or not, or simply they will be thrown out. Their job will go. So that they will be afraid of. The emotional issues that the team members may experience include what? The uncertainties and apprehensions concerning their assignment to the next project. This may manifest as a general loss of interest. Okay, due to that, the employees, they will lose their interest. This may manifest as a general loss of interest in work and lack of enthusiasm to perform the remaining project work. There can also be diversion of attention. Their attention may be diverted because the project already completed, but it is not declared as closed. So there can also be diversion of attention. The team members may pay more attention. So since they don't have any work to do, they are sitting idle. So the team members may pay more attention to other issues such as getting reassigned to a project of their choice. And the project work can take a backseat, isn't it? Instead of doing something related to the project, they will do some other work, and the project work it can take a backseat. So these are the emotional issues. I have already told you that emotional issue not only affect the clients, not only affect the team members, but also it may affect the clients. Let's see how the clients, they will be affected. On the client side, there can be a sudden change in attitude. Okay, the clients, when the project is completed but it is not getting declared as closed, they may exhibit a sudden change in their attitude and loss of interest in the project, and they may lose interest in the project work. On the client side, there can be a sudden change in attitude and loss of interest in the project. The client may even change the personnel dealing with the project and thereby causing further disconnect and difficulties in project closure. So the client, he might have dedicatedly given you some personnel to liaison with the firm to discuss or to intermediate with the software development firm. Now they may change those personnel, may give some less experienced personnel, etc., and thereby causing further disconnect and difficulties in project closure. So these are some of the issues associated with proper termination. So we have discussed the first issue, that is emotional. Now we have to see the next issue, that is the intellectual. So we are discussing now the issue associated with project termination. We have already seen the issue called as emotional. Next we will see the intellectual issues. The intellectual problems may include handling some sensitive issues. So they may handle some sensitive issues. Let's see them. When a project is to be prematurely terminated, then the terms of contract and the list of deliverables need to be renegotiated, isn't it? Because the project is, say, prematurely terminated. Then what are the original terms? Now they have to be renegotiated, like the payment terms, the risk terms, the involvement terms. Now they all have to be renegotiated. So when a project is to be prematurely terminated, the terms of the contract and the list of deliverables need to be negotiated. Also, even when some deliverables and tasks that are considered to be not necessary anymore, however, before dropping these, it needs to be verified with the client. So now initially you have found out that some list of deliverables and tasks are important. And when you are discussing that it has to be prematurely terminated, now obviously they are not required anymore. But before dropping these items or the project will be terminated, you have to take permission from the client. It needs to be verified with the client. We are dropping these deliverables and tasks. So will it affect their business also? It has to be verified with the client. Also, the closure decision has to be effectively communicated to all stakeholders. When a project is going to be closed, it has to be properly communicated to all stakeholders for their information and for their necessary action. Now let's quickly look at the project closure process. What activities are involved in the project closure process? Before the project closure process can be initiated, before the project closure process can be initiated, what you have to do? The decision regarding closing the project needs to have been taken in consultation with the top management. The project manager must have to inform to his top management that this project is going to be closed within few days. Now there are two cases I have told you, that project is successfully completed, another is the project is prematurely terminated. For successful projects, what is expected? For successful projects, it is expected that the requisite technical documentation, what are the requisite technical documentation, or what are the requisite technical documents? The user manuals and the proper testing and user training, they should have been completed. For successful projects, as the project manager, you should complete the requisite technical documents, preparation of technical documents, preparation of user manuals, testing the product, and giving user trainings. They should have properly completed, and it should have been ensured that the project outputs are usable by the customer without any difficulty. Since the project is going to be closed, proper testing you have already done, proper training you are given to the client side. So it should be ensured that the outputs of the projects, they are properly usable by the customer without any difficulty. They will not face any difficulty, and the outputs of the project, they can be properly used. They are usable by the customer. It also needs to be ensured that administrative activities such as setting their claims and archiving their deliverables for future use have been accomplished. Since the project is successfully completed, it is needed that you have to ensure that all the administrative activities, for example, settling their claims, settling the claims of the developers, or settling the claims of the clients, and archiving all their deliverables properly. They should be archived for future use. They have been accomplished. It also needs to ensure that, or it also needs to be ensured that the administrative activities such as settling their claims and archiving their deliverables for future use, they have been accomplished. They have been properly accomplished. Now let's see the other case, second case. So we have already seen these are the requirements. These are the activities they have to be followed for closure of successful projects. Now let's see how we can close the projects those will be prematurely terminated. For a project facing premature termination, the project manager, in consultation with the top management and the customers, they have to take the decision as to whether to terminate the project immediately or to keep it under watch for some more time. Please see what he is saying. Now you have already almost in a stage to take a decision that the project has to be prematurely terminated. Now you have to decide what this project will be terminated from today, or will watch for say 10 days or 15 days, then we will terminate. So you have to take a decision whether the project has to be terminated immediately, or you have to wait, you have to keep it under watch for some more time. This decision has to be taken in consultation with the top management as well as the clients or the customers. For a project facing premature termination, the project manager in consultation with what? Two persons, two stakeholders, the top management and the customers. Then the project manager has to take the decision as to whether to terminate the project immediately, maybe today, or to keep it under watch for some more days or for some more time. So for both normal closure and premature termination category of projects, it has to be ensured that there are no further obligations. Okay, so whether the project is successfully closed or it is prematurely closed, you have to ensure that as the project manager, you have to ensure that there are no further obligations from your side. Okay, there are no further obligations from your side. So these are some of the activities that you must follow for terminating, for closing a project properly. Now let's quickly see what steps should be followed for closing a project. First thing is getting client acceptance. Your product, your project has been accepted by the client. The deliverables and the outputs, they are already accepted by the client. Then archiving project deliverables. What are the deliverables? All the records, all the documents, they have to be properly archived. Number 3, preserving project know-how. How to store the details of the project, the experience that you have gained. So preserving project know-how. Number 4, performing a financial closure. All the financial accounting process that has to be properly closed. So know what obligations should be there. All the financial transactions, the incomes, expenditure, etc., they have to be properly closed. Performing post-implementation project review. After the project is completed, now we have to review properly what you have what you have got from the project, what experience you have got, what lessons you have learned, where you have committed mistakes, how the mistakes could have been otherwise what it could have been, these mistakes could have been avoided. So all those things you can know if you can carry out a post-implementation project review. Then finally, from this post-implementation project review, what you have learned, you have to record it. Prepare post-implementation review report, prepare a report. And finally, after the project is closed, what you have to do? Release the staff members so that they can be joined, they can join or they can be assigned in some other new projects. These are the steps required for project closure process. These are easy steps, so you can read just yourself. Okay, getting client acceptance. This is quite easy. Already we have discussed like the mechanism for client acceptance varies across different types of projects. Okay, so those acceptance tends to be informal and gets conveyed in the meetings. Those are easy things. Please read yourself. Okay, all those things. Archiving project deliverables, whatever the deliverables, you have to archive them properly. You have to record them properly. Again, it's quite easy. You read yourself. Then performing a financial closure. Every project is usually undertaken based on some financial grant. This grant can have different components such as capital head, contingency head, etc., and contingency budgets, etc. All these components have to be reconciled, and book transfer of any capital goods that are purchased should be carried out. You have to properly close the financial aspects, financial records. Also, it has to be ensured that all the subcontractor payments are complete and have been reconciled. If you have given some of the tax to the subcontractors, their payment is over, and that has been reconciled in the records. This is very important. Post-implementation project review. So The goal of or the objective of a post-implementation project review is what? It is to perform a critical analysis of the project. You have to perform the analysis of the project. Why? In order to learn and improve and avoid repeating the same mistakes in the future projects. In the current project, what mistakes you have committed, how they can be avoided, you can learn and improve the practices that you have followed so that your performance will be better in future projects. This post-implementation project review is known as post-mortem analysis. This is also known as post-mortem analysis. By analyzing the past mistakes, the project teams or the project manager, by analyzing the past mistakes, previous mistakes, the project teams or the project managers, they can learn to do better by improving their existing methods and practices. They can further try to improve their methods and practices so that they will get more benefit. So not only the successful ones, but also or even the unsuccessful projects, they implicitly hold a lot of information that can be identified, they can be documented and disseminated to benefit of other projects. So whatever lessons you have learned, maybe successful projects, maybe unsuccessful projects. So all those information, those you have obtained from those successful projects or unsuccessful projects, you should record them. They should be identified and then documented. So, and they should be disseminated to benefit of other projects, other future projects. So those benefits you should avail by recording those information. Okay, not only the successful ones, even the unsuccessful projects, implicitly they hold a lot of information that can be identified, documented and disseminated to benefit of other future projects. Now let's see quickly, as I have already told you, this is one of the most important phase called as post-implementation project review or post-mortem. Let's see what are the steps that you will follow for carrying out the post-implementation project review. Okay, so first step is conduct a project survey to collect various types of information. So in order to collect the information associated with this existing project that you have already seen during the development of the project, you have to conduct some project survey to collect the various types of information. Then collect objective information or the project metrics. Okay, collect some objective information or the project metrics such as the cost metric, what types of cost or what are the costs you have incurred, what are the schedules, the different quality metrics. So those things you can collect. Then hold a debriefing meeting, hold a preparatory meeting among the different stakeholders. Collect the information, what problems they have faced or what practices they have used. So hold a debriefing meeting. Then this preparatory, this is the initial meeting, the preparatory meeting. After the preparatory meeting is over, then hold the final project review meeting and prepare the post-implementation review report. What findings you have observed from the project, your experience, your lessons you have learned, mistakes you have committed, all those things you just review and write down all those details in the post-implementation review report. And finally, publish the report. Among whom? Publish the report among all the stakeholders so that all the stakeholders will be aware of what the different experiences, what mistakes you have committed, what lessons you have learned, and what could have been done better for the improvement of the project. All those things please share among different stakeholders so that they will be cautious on this advantage they can take while implementing future projects. So these are again easy things I have explained in the next slides. You can read yourself. Okay. And finally is prepare the project closure report. So after this review stage, after this post-implementation review, you have to, during post-implementation review, prepare this post-implementation review report, then the whole project closure report. Since you are closing the project, you have to prepare a project closure report. Let's see what you have to do in this project closeout report. This project closeout report, it documents the important results obtained from various project closeout tasks. It will contain those important results. It is okay. It documents the important results obtained from various project closeout tasks. This project closeout report, it starts with a historical summary of the project's deliverables. Okay, you should start with a historical summary of the project deliverables and the baseline activities over the closure of the project. So what are the initial activities, the baseline activities over the closure of the project. So this project closeout report, it starts with a historical summary of all the project deliverables and the baseline activities over the closure of the project. Then later on, you may add the followings. Subsequently, it presents the summary of the survey results. Okay, what are the, because I have already told you here, we are conducting the project survey. So first it starts with the historical summary of the project deliverables and the baseline activities. Then subsequently it presents the summary of the survey results and the quantitative data gathering about the project's performance. Then you have to then you have to write down some quantitative data gathering about the project's performance. On the project performance, give some quantitative data in terms of numbers or so. So put some quantitative data about the project's performance. Finally, what you have to write? You have to write the results of the final project review. Okay. The results of the final project review are presented. The reasons for variance. If there is some variation, you should get this result, but there is a slight variation. What are the reasons that there is some variation from the original plan, from the baseline plan? The reasons for variances from the baseline plan, lessons learned during this project development, best practices that you have followed and best practices that could have been followed, and the disposition of project resources are highlighted. Okay. So finally, towards the end of the project report, what you should write? At the project manager, finally, towards the end of the project report, the following are presented. The results of the final project review are presented. Then the reasons for variances from the baseline plan, the lessons you have learned from the project, the best practices followed or the best practices could have been followed, and the disposition of project resources. These are highlighted towards the end of the project closeout. This report also contains recommendations or for improvement for other similar projects. So if in near future you will get similar projects, then this report should prescribe some recommendations for improvement of similar projects in near future. What other best practices you can follow so that you will get benefit. So these recommendations for improvement of further similar projects will also be contained in this report. And the last step is result publication. Whatever findings you have obtained, now you have written in the form of a document, in the form of a report. That report now has to be disseminated. That has to be published among different stakeholders. The project leader now summarizes the positive and the negative findings, as well as the prescriptions, the recommendations or the advices for improvement. All those things will be written in a document. The project leader summarizes the positive and negative findings as well as the prescriptions for improvement. Then the summary is published so that all the teams can refer to it. Okay. Now the summary is that the summary is published. So you have already prepared the summary. Now the summary is published so that all the teams, all the team members, all the stakeholders can refer to it, and also the management can take initiative. Okay. And the management can take initiative for any necessary corrections based on it. Okay. So this after preparing the summary is published so that all the teams can refer to it, and also the management can take necessary initiatives for any required corrections based on it. All right. So let's summarize again. The project leader summarizes the positive and the negative findings, as well as the prescriptions or the advices or the recommendations for improvement of similar types of projects in future. Then the summary is published so that all the teams can refer to it, and also the management can take initiatives for any necessary corrections based on it. Then the important findings of the post-implementation project review audit can be published in a document. So you have already carried out the post-implementation review. What are the findings of the post-implementation review? That can also be published in a document. The important findings of the post-implementation project review audit, it can be published, they can be published in a document. The document can be used to disseminate the lessons learned and to work as a reference for similar future projects. 2 minute class chalchi. So the document can be used to disseminate. Okay, so this document, this post implementation review, that report that you have prepared, I am saying that document. The document, it can be used to disseminate the lessons learned and to work as a reference for similar future projects. Okay. The important findings of the post-implementation project review audit can be published in document. The document can also be used to disseminate the lessons learned and to work as a reference for similar future projects. Now let's see how this can be prepared this document. This is how the post-implementation project review report can be prepared, how it can be organized. A typical way in which the post-implementation project review report can be organized is as follows. First, you can write a little bit about the project description, information about the project to give context. That can be written. Then what worked well during your project, what things worked well, and which practices they did not work. Okay, which methods they did not work well. Also, you have to write the factors that impeded the performance of the project. Which factors have impeded the performance of the projects? A prescription for other projects to follow. So if you will get similar projects in your future from the experience of this project, you have to write the prescription. You have to give the recommendation for other similar projects in future to follow. A prescription for other projects to follow also will be written in this post-implementation project review report. And after the project is completed, the last step is releasing staff. Okay, after the project is completed, the next step is releasing the staff. The final step is the releasing the staff members. This is the final step of project closeout process. This is the last meeting before the project team members to disburse the staff members to different other projects. Okay, this is the last meeting before the project team members to disburse the staff members to different other projects. The project should ensure that the team members are assigned to proper projects according to their expertise and skill. They should not be sit idle, or they should not be assigned to some other projects where they are not experts. Say designer should be assigned to some design activities in the next project. He should not be given this testing activity. Similarly, a tester should get testing related activities in the next project. He should not be assigned to a requirement analysis job like that. Who should ensure this? The project manager should ensure this, that his subordinates, his staff members should be allotted to some activities related to their expertise and skill. The project manager should see that the team members are assigned to proper projects according to their expertise and skill. This meeting is also the ground for celebration before the team members they disperse to different projects, and for recognizing exceptional performance by the team members and recognizing the experience and proficiency gained by the team members. This is the last meeting. The project manager may celebrate some function or some meeting or maybe some dinner or so, and they should recognize the excellent performance, the exceptional performance shown by the team members. They should recognize their experience. They may give some award, or they may give some incentives. Okay, they should recognize their proficiency again by the team members. They should encourage. So the staff members, so if you recognize their experience and proficiency, if you give some awards or if you give some incentives, definitely they will be motivated to do further better in similar future projects. Okay, this is about releasing the staff members and dispersing them and assigning them to other the new projects of which will be related to their expertise and skill. So let's see the summary. Today we have discussed the reasons for project closure. We have discussed the problems of improper project closure. If a project is getting closed in an improper manner, what problems the project manager or the organization will face. We have explained the various issues associated with project termination. We have presented the different steps for closure of a project. We have also presented the structure of a typical project closure report. So this is what today we have discussed. We have taken this thing from this software project management book. Thank you very much. Yes, now let's take up any other questions, please. Very easy chapter, but very important. If you are project manager, you must close the project properly. Some hints we have given. Other things you can get from internet sources, etc. This is something about project closure. So if